Good morning, everyone, and happy Saturday. Why is there a fly in here? Nope, there we go. Good morning, everyone. My name is Callie, and this is another weekend of clarinets, cats, and coffee. So lately, I've been thinking a lot about hand position and, well, basically just hand position, finger position, things like that. I've taken on some new students in my studio, and we've worked a lot on just, how to hold the instrument and how to position your hands and your fingers so you can play with ease rather than with a bunch of tension. And so I thought, since we're well into the school year now, that it might be a good idea for us to talk about that on my YouTube channel. So before we do that, I want to thank all of my patrons. There are now 23 of you, which is really exciting. So thank you guys so much. And I actually owe you guys a private live stream, and I will be putting up a poll in Patreon very soon on this, but I have a couple of ideas for the live stream I want to do with you guys, and one idea actually is to do an online masterclass type of thing. So, and then a couple of other pedagogical idea topics of like Q&A kind of stuff, or bring me your questions, like send me samples of your music, that kind of stuff. So I know that's really vague, but I will be sending a poll to you guys very soon so you can vote on what you want me to do. So if you aren't already part of my Patreon community, there is a tier just for my YouTube followers. It's the $3 tier. I'm actually going to eliminate one of the middle tiers and kind of redo it. So I would say don't sign up for the middle tiers quite yet. And then there's also the private lesson tier, which is at the top, and you get one lesson per month with me, plus all the other perks. So, head on over there if you want to be part of this upcoming live stream that I'm going to do. And, it would be great to see you guys. So that being said, let's go ahead and get started on this video. This cup says it all, by the way. Everything that's important in my life, right here. Cats.
This kitty. Boy, she's just the best, isn't she?
Okay, so as I was saying before, I've been working with some new students on hand and finger position and just working on trying to ease some of the tension. So in thinking about what really helped me with my hand position, aside from my teachers working with me on how to hold the instrument, how to grip, and all of that, I thought about what really did it for me in terms of what really forced me to take a better look at my hand position, because we all know it doesn't really matter how much our teachers kind of beat it into us. We kind of have to take the initiative and do it ourselves, right? So I actually started going through the Albert Scale book when I was in college. I didn't go through it before that. And all of the keys were pretty easy for me up through 3 flats. Once I got to 4 flats, things got a little messy. So A flat major was the first key signature I really felt like I had to take a closer look and really address any issues I had with my hand position. And because of that, it actually turned into one of my favorite key signatures because I worked so hard to properly do it. So I picked up a few tips, and I'm just gonna share some of those things with you today. Camille, I don't know if you see this, but I've got a cat in my lap, and I'm also trying to open my instrument. Maybe I could do that up here. I'll do that up here, right? You want to stay here? Okay. So the basic thing is, I think it can be helpful if you've been playing for years and years and you've developed any weird habits. It can be helpful to break some of those habits if you choose a key signature that is tricky for you, that's hard to read. And so if you're like me, that's anything above 3 sharps or 3 flats, or like I was, I guess. So anything above 3 sharps and 3 flats, anything that we're not super coordinated at. Why? It's because anything that makes you focus a little bit more on what you're doing will help you reassess whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, right? So, you know, I'm going to do a bunch of exercises in the key of A flat, or what I perceive as the key of A flat. And so some of those are, you know, one of them's just like the scale itself. One of the exercises is doing a little pattern of thirds. Another exercise is taken right from the Albert scale book, and it's the arpeggio line. And then the rest of the exercises, oh, trust me, there are a lot, so I'm going to save time and only play them for you at one tempo so you can hear them. Anyway, the rest of the exercises are basic pinky exercises and hand position exercises, going over the break exercises, things like that, from the Bayerman method, right? Those little one measure little chunks that help us hone in on whatever weird technique we're trying to accomplish, right? So anyway, so by focusing on the discomfort of the scale, the key signature, the awkward movements, the awkward keys, we'll be forced to use proper technique, right? So a couple of the things that I've noticed with players who are having trouble with technique, they well, a lot of times, like you know, kids who are like maybe middle school or high school, and they're experiencing like growth spurts and stuff, they it to me looks like they're trying to hold an instrument that is a lot bigger than their hands are, right? So you'll see a lot of things like this, where they're gripping the clarinet and the fingers actually invert at the knuckles. So when you push down that hard and the knuckles invert like that, your pinkies start to curl. And when your pinkies curl, you can't actually use them. And guess what? You really need to have pinky dexterity in the key of A flat major, right? So, wow, that even hurt my hand. What I recommend is imagine that you're just making like a nice letter C with your hands, right? Kind of like that. And the fatty part of your finger closer, not the tip part of the finger, but kind of like right here, is a great point for you to hit your keys at, right? So if you aim slightly curved fingers, you actually won't have to press super hard to the point where your knuckles invert. Likewise, you might have issues with your hand position if your thumb is too far over. I've seen a lot of people where I can even see their thumb on the other side and they're doing stuff like this. And that just comes from like trying to balance the clarinet properly. So 2 tips for that. If you slide your thumb out a little bit, so for me, a comfortable spot is about right here. It may be different for you, but that enables me to curve my fingers around to a point where I could just hold it like this and balance it out pretty well. And so the one tip is to find a comfortable position for your thumb and actually push up. And the second tip is it goes along with this. So you push up and out against your teeth. So if you balance against your teeth and your thumb, woohoo, right? You're pushing up and your instrument is balanced. So what does that mean? Your fingers can do whatever they want. Right? They're free to do whatever they want, right? Give that a try, okay? 2 leverage points. You've got your thumb and your top teeth. Another tip that I have for you guys in just improving technique is it's a technique called quiet fingers, and in my mind, I call them quiet fingers. I'm not a big one, and you'll see, like if you go through my old videos, you'll see I'm not a huge one to be like, keep your fingers as close as possible to the keys, right? Because sometimes when you're playing slow legato stuff, you can get a quieter sound and a more legato sound if you move your fingers as if they're going through clay, and you can actually get a much more beautiful legato. So I know there are lots of people out there who swear by keeping their fingers as close as possible all the time. So you'll have to kind of do your own experimentation to figure out what works the best for you. But for me, I focus on trying to keep my fingers quiet. So if I'm playing fast passages like this, that means my fingers will naturally want to stay close to the instrument so that the volume of the hit isn't super loud. If I'm practicing, again, like I said, something really legato, I'm going to wind my fingers up and place them down quietly so the legato is very, very smooth. So give that technique a try, the technique of quiet fingers. So we've got leverage, we've got finger position, we've got quiet fingers. Another thing that will really help, which I find A flat major a great key to practice this in, is actually keeping your pinkies and your fingers stretched out over the keys, and to the point where your pinkies are anchored on whatever keys are coming next. So this is called pinky anchoring. And so there are lots of opportunities. Yeah, there are lots of opportunities in this key, and basically any key, to do pinky anchoring. But again, the discomfort of having to think about what you're doing will actually improve your hand and finger position because you're more focused on it. And then the last thing, this kind of goes along with pinky anchoring, that is just keeping your pinky stretched out when you go over the break. So in the first few Behrman exercises, you'll be able to watch, and I'm gonna try to do a close-up of my hands also so you can see, but you'll see my fingers aren't flying around, they're not curling up against each other, they're just staying pretty close and kind of stretched out. So when you're going over the break, if you aim your pinkies for the general area of your pinky keys, the rest of your fingers will follow suit and actually spread out, right? So instead of focusing on each individual finger and keeping it near or slightly above whatever key it belongs to, if you focus on keeping your pinky stretched out, you'll actually accomplish all of those things without having to think too hard about it. So I hope that makes sense. All right, so to save time and to keep this video at a reasonable amount of time, because I have so many little exercises to play, I am going to set my metronome to 100. And if you wish to play it faster on your own, you can, or you can speed up my recording a little bit. I think you could speed it up a little bit. Or if you want to practice it slower, you can slow my recording down a little bit and play along with me. So, I love this key signature, and I love these little exercises, and it's something I really need right now, especially in the pinky department. I hope you guys enjoy playing along with these little exercises, and yeah, let's go ahead and get started. All right, guys, that was so much fun. My mind feels so refreshed from having focused on all those little pinky exercises and A-flat exercises. I hope you guys enjoy practicing that this week. And, if you have any tips or feel very strongly about anything regarding hand and finger position, leave them in the comments below. We want to learn from each other, and I love hearing from you guys and learning about what works for you as well. So also let me know if you do this over the week and how it goes. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Have fun, and most of all, happy practicing.